War is inevitable.
Oh, can I talk about that real quick? I've got a big juicy rant about that.
You've made the right choice.
This is quality content, my friend.
Time! Oh, Martin, come!
I'm the better snake.
I'm a wizard!
When this is over, you will regret everything. Split push! Victory is ours!
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Split Push, episode 60. That's right, the big 60. We're getting old.
You know,
how about that, folks?
If they can hear you, that means you're back and that we have to behave.
Yes.
No.
You know? And at the time of this recording, I still haven't yet heard what they have said. So, just to throw that out there. But along with me here today, you've already heard him. It's my, for now, good buddy, Yuki.
I'm sorry for all the things we did to you.
And we got Dirt Nap Dan.
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
We would have had Beagle, but, well, you know, sometimes siblings and adults have to get involved, and then people are mad, and, well, you know, she needs some time out this evening, so she's off doing her thing. Guy, he's running late. Well, you know, life happens. He should be joining us, though, so hopefully he'll be popping in here at any moment.
Yeah, let me guess. He went to the store.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Well, then he won't be back for like 3 or 4 hours. But we do have a special guest with us here today. I believe you're one of the casters here for the Exilium League that Guy has promptly thrown you all into. It is MajinBuusha.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
I'm surprised we haven't made you quit your job yet.
You know what? I've thought about it, but I restrained. I can happily say I can restrain.
All right,
I think we'll get to that first game here in a little bit, but before we get into some of our games here, Majin, why don't you take the floor here for a moment, let the podcast world here know who you are and why Smite and why you do what you do.
Absolutely. I am MajinBuusha, of course. I have been playing Smite ever since it came out, basically. And then I had a brief moment where I didn't play it, but then I got right back into it and just fell in love with it and just kept going. And I love competitive Smite, so I follow the SBL and the SML pretty closely. Not quite as much this year because of my work and whatnot, but I still follow as best as I can. And just, I love the idea about this game. It's about the mythology, about the third person, it being a MOBA. I never knew what a MOBA was before Smite, so there's that. But I've had so much fun playing this game, and it takes up all my gaming time nowadays. I really don't play anything else, to be honest with you. And
I know the feeling.
it's gotten, yeah, and it's gotten to the point to where I'm a part of Exilium now, and I was one of the first 20, 30 members when they first formed. So it's been awesome to be a part of such a great org that Kimberlin and Seven and Mike and all those guys have created. But long story short about the casting, last year I was doing some casting for fun with an admin of the Discord now, actually. His name is the Boondoggler, and we were just having fun, you know, kind of trolling our friends but being serious with calling action. And I got hit up by Lord Varen, which I'll be referring to as Mike because that's what he likes to be called. He actually approached me earlier this year saying, hey, we're going to start these leagues for Exilium for different players of different capabilities so that they can be competitive and see what it feels like. So we need casters. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm more than willing to give this a shot and to do what I can. And from there forward, I am here. I schedule, as soon as a game is scheduled by the teams, as you guys know, you schedule your own games. We don't schedule them for you. You schedule the games. If people are available, I ask people, hey, are you available to cast this with me, or is X and X person able to cast? And we do things like that. And we have some special guests throughout the split as well. So I'm very excited to let everybody know that if nobody knows who they are yet.
Oh, a high five. always like to give out the goodies when the goodies are out to be given.
Oh, absolutely. I can do that whenever you want me to.
Go right ahead while you still have the floor. That's why we gave it to you.
You?
All right. Well, first off, I know some people have already seen, but Nuka DeLuca is one of those that are special guests. He has been amazing. He likes to do 1 to 2 a week, when possible. This past week he's on vacation, so, lucky him, but, I think we held the floor pretty decently without him. At some points we'll be seeing Matt Accountant, show his face. We were going to yesterday, but his power actually went out where he lives.
It wasn't just me.
That's been going around, actually. We've actually had, it's been hitting us at times where it really hasn't affected us, though, which has been nice.
Yeah, it hasn't hit us down here in South Carolina at all where I'm from, but, yeah, that happened to him, so I was like, oh man, I just learned about this set that's happening 30 minutes ago, and it kind of sucks, because the Classic League is perfect for scheduling their games. Like, by Tuesday, every game is scheduled, and I'm like, this is awesome. I can get people ahead of time. I can put this here, put this there, and figure out all the details. Well, the Premier League and the Masters League are kind of behind the ball on that sometimes.
Ooh.
And that's what happened with that game. It was Huevos and Fuego versus Girl Patrol last night, and I knew about 45 minutes before the game actually started. And but so it took a little while to find some people, and I was able to get Waffles. He was actually pre-recording some games for us. As if you don't know, we do cast most of these games live, but when a patch happens, whether it's a hot patch or an actual patch like today, where we actually get to see Olaron now in the live servers, match IDs get completely reset. So the games that were played yesterday or the weekend that haven't got casted, well, the only way we can cast them is if somebody can take the time, go in, watch the game, record the gameplay and whatnot. But that's getting a little bit off track here. But some other guests, been talking to Rathan as well, so from time to time if he's available.
He's a good guy.
I love Rathan to death.
Dan, we got to make that happen, and I'm pulling out Cupid support. We will break.
Damn, now Yuki, now they're gonna ban it.
Yeah, they're great. Now they're going to ban it because they hear it on the podcast. They're like, you remember that one time the guy said he's going to play Cupid support? Ah, ha, ha, ha.
We can't have that. We can't have it.
No way.
Don't worry. I have other hot support picks.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sure you do. But the last two guests that we'll be seeing, J-Mac has already been a part of one. Of course, he's been doing most of our tournaments. And that's been very fun. And then Illy, who was also part of those tournaments, from time to time will be casting with us as well. So that's it for the special guests. But as far as the main crew, Sir Waffles, I've already mentioned. Truth just added on yesterday. He's actually having fun trying to learn with most of the rest of us. Seven Soul, he's been on the desk in some tournaments, and he likes to get into it a little bit. Boondoggle, I mentioned his name before a little bit. Glacier88 and Fuzzy Wuzzy 01. If all of our schedules can combine for a game, we try to make things happen. So it's very fun when it does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, your casting crew is awesome.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool people coming in there, and a lot of past guests that I seem to recall there as well, too, and possible some future ones, maybe. Let's see. But before we go too far more into what's been going on with the different leagues and stuff, we do have some games of the week to talk about. And since I wasn't here last week, I figured, you know what, I'm going to kind of go first this week and just say, I've joined the Dan and Dicey crew on PC. Haven't I, Dan?
Oh, have you?
Undefeated on PC.
I am undefeated on PC. Yep, at the time of this recording, at least.
Well, that is awesome. I know that Big Rick 20X, he's one of the admins for the Exilium Discord, and as well as a player, as you guys know, for Bot G Growthworms. He, the other day, actually just switched over to PC for the first time as well, and I can't say that he's undefeated, unfortunately, even though he's on my team.
Yeah. It was just one of those things where, I'd played one game before in an arena with the crew and we won. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. I just cannot do the whole WASD thing. But with this whole, thing going on now, and I'm sitting here on the sidelines like, I'm stuck on PS4 Island, and everybody else got on the damn last boat and fucking went over to the mainland.
Yep.
And I'm just sitting there on the beach, my fire, by myself, like, well, what's going on? Hey guys, you coming back? No?
Then he found the sea turtles. Then he found a pair of sea turtles.
Yes.
And he lashed them together with the hair from his back and made it off
from my
PS4
backside, yes, but
Name
Yikes.
that reference.
Yeah,
Yes.
You're welcome, Dan. Throwback.
But anyway, we digress into another awesome thing to talk about. But I was on the other day, and I'm just like trying to redo the whole key binding setup, and I have this weird thing that I'm just going to let be that. I ain't going to explain it to y'all what it is.
Please
you don't need to
don't.
know that. Let's just say it's weird. But so far, it's working for me. Kind of. I still got a lot of muscle memory to go and shit like that. Obviously, I'm still hitting buttons wrong, which, it's the way it happens, obviously. But these guys are like, hey, just join us. You're better than a random right now because everybody's at like low level. So, we're getting like entry level people, sometimes randomized into the group. And obviously, that it's better to have some people that know what's going on. And I'm like, okay. And then they throw me right into a conquest. I'm like, you bastards.
Oh,
like,
no.
okay. Like right into conquest. And I get solo lane. I'm like, I don't have the god pack. I'm the one thing I'm struggling with is the basic attacks right now with where I want that it's comfortable and works properly. And I'm like, shit, I gotta play. I'm playing raw solo, guys. Like, I can be very, very careful with raw solo.
That was done back in season 1.
Yeah. So, I went over there and I'm like, I'm just going to build basically mage and I'm going to stand under the tower. And I ended up being against a baron. So it was kind of funny that it was a mage off anyway. I felt bad for the guy because I just was not really over engaging. I went out, I did my stuff, I got back. I didn't really fight over the totem much. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I can't believe they threw me right into a conquest. But, I made a couple plays. I went 3-4-9. We won the game, and I had a nice altar too.
You didn't suck.
I didn't suck.
That's all
He
we
got
asked.
a kill early in the laning phase,
Yep.
which means he's better than 90% of the solo laners I've seen.
Can confirm he was not a vacuum that day.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like I don't expect, like, even when we're matchmaking and it's picking up one or two randoms into our party for the games. Like, I'm not asking you to be amazing. I'm just asking you to not suck. That's all.
And I achieved that.
You get a participation ribbon, buddy.
I did.
Did he get his golden star?
No.
No,
Golden stars
I
are
wasn't
we
that
got a
good. I wasn't
silver
that
star
good in
that
this
day.
game. But give me a second. Maybe.
He got a silver star that game.
Next game, conquest again. This time I go in as support. I'm like, what do I have for supports? I'm like, okay, Ymir. Gotcha.
Ymir is here.
Dan, who were you? You were Hachiman. Yes. So
Japanese
while
bow.
I still struggle with getting all the keys down, every time I tried to wall somebody off from doing what they wanted to do, I was successful. I'm like, okay, maybe it is a hell of a lot easier to aim on PC.
Yes, 1,000%.
Because I'm like, in PS4, by the time that wall popped up, that they would have been gone, and I would have walled my team off. But PC, perfect. And Dan's like, shit, that was good. And then I had this, I don't even know what the hell I was doing, but I was surviving, I was blinking, I was sprinting, freezing people, getting out of dodge, doing all kinds of pretty cool shit. Ended up 0-2-20. We won the game.
That's awesome, dude. That's. I gotta say, the Ymir wall for me, I still seem to wall with my teammates. So,
Well, I did fail to mention that there's many times that while at the buff camps, the Gold Fury, the Fire Giant, I walled them. Like, I was trying to hit my basic attack. I hit my first ability. Yeah, I'm just trolling y'all. That's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that
Fucking
before.
trolls.
There's a reason I play with half of a controller, because walking still kills me on a keyboard, because I haven't played a computer game on a mouse and keyboard since 2004.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, And even when I played a computer, the last one was, wow, I moved with my mouse. Dude, people, if you were a keyboard mover in PvP combat against me, you were dead. I loved keyboard movers because they were just free food. Just eat them right up. But it was the third game. After having played one somewhere off in my history before, I had completed 3 games and got that, hey, you get all the world different announcer packs, which were automatically going to put in your favorites and switch over to, of course, one of them immediately. So
I can just imagine some random thing babbling on.
I don't even know which one it was. I couldn't tell you because we'll get to that in a moment here. But I'm playing my boy Kukulkan in Arena. This is one of my comfort plays on PlayStation, right?
Well, this was the gold star.
And we come out, and what were we? So let's view this match because this match was something.
Uller, Naja support, Cuckoo.
This was So we had Vaughn and Kukulane with Lucille
that's
and
when
Dan.
Dan and Yuri went
right?
Warrior ADC.
Yep. And you were Fafnir, my friend.
Oh, is that the Fafnir one?
Yeah. And then we had a random Neath with us. And I was Kukulkan. We were against...
Neath didn't suck?
Yeah. We were against an Alposh that didn't suck. And Uller, a Kukulkan that wanted to play, I'm going to attack the other Kukulkan all game long. A Kumbhakarna and a Pele. And...
I'm the better snake.
At one point in this game... shit's hitting the fan. I know I'm fighting in the Alposh alt, and that's okay at this point in time because I had health coming into it. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm killing people. I weave through his alt with my dash up, trying to dodge the corpses to get that next kill. Throw my one out. I think maybe a basic. I don't know, but I kill the guy. And
meanwhile, Dirt Nap's
my announcer pack
is going. Is
fucking flipping out. I'm just like,
I don't know.
I'm like looking like, where do the awards pop up? Did I just fucking walk into a Pentium day one of PC? And I'm like, I don't see that, but I'm like, guys, how many kills do I have? I don't know. This guy is speaking a language unknown to me. They're like, that was 3. I'm like, oh, okay, that's still kind of cool. But I had no idea what the hell was going on. My announcer pack.
You got a quadra.
Was it? No, it was only 3, I think.
I'm pretty sure you got a quadra kill.
I don't know. I ended up 10-4 for the game and top damage on the team, second only to Alposh, who again played very well. He had almost 48,000 to my 37,000.
Ouch.
Down to the next highest, which was Dan at 29,000. And just an update, folks. Guy
Uller's a lot
doesn't think
harder
he's
to get
gonna make it.
DPS on than Kukulkan.
Yeah. That was just a hell of a match. It was really fun. I had some, trading with the Kukulkan. One time he fucking kidded me. Right. I'm like, man, will you stop it? Just play the match. Stop playing the duel because I'm playing Kukulkan too. So he did that. I came out. I flew right through the fight, right up to his face, punched him with my wand, threw the whirlwind down and ulted him and walked away. I'm like, okay, we done now? Like, I can do that too.
That was with
dude, I honestly did that the other day to my coach, and it was the best feeling in the fucking world. He was like getting a little, I think he was on, we were scrimming, I think, and he subbed in for the enemy ADC or something, and it was like a week or so ago.
Jingwei.
And I even remember him telling me, he's like, yeah, I got mad when you soloed me. Like, I was pissed. And then he really gunned it for me the rest of the game. Then he was like, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, but you definitely have those moments where you have these players that are all after you, and they're telling you, you know what, I'm going to come for you. You're not going to see the end of this day. And the next thing you know, you're just going to solo on them. They're like, okay, now I'm really bad. And then they can never do anything about it because you're ahead now.
Yeah. But my coach kicks my ass every time, so it's okay.
Yeah.
He kicks literally, it's so funny. We 1v1 him and he kicks all of our asses in every lane. And it's like, why don't you just do it by yourself? You'd
You
probably
know.
do just as good.
Speaking of getting ahead, though, how about that Kronos this week?
Which
I'm
one?
not-
I've seen very many.
I'm not partial to talking about that.
I'm not sure if did you cast their game this last week when they
I
were
don't-
against Jaybird and I don't know that team name, but I just remember the player's name.
That's okay. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I go through so many
That
right
was
now.
tribal.
Oh,
Tribal versus split.
Even if
Oh,
you
I
did
don't think I
cast
did.
it, you probably regressed and repressed that memory of game one at least.
Oh, game one was bad. Yeah.
Game one
Game one was like we all took a pile of shit, put it on the floor, put a rake in front of it, and then walked over the rake and fell face first.
Oh no!
That was how bad game
Dude,
one was.
they were all so nervous still. It was so funny because I'm like, Dirtnap's mom and I came downstairs and put it up on the big screen. We're gonna kick back and watch the match, and it was just we're watching. I'm like, look how nervous it. This is you can see it on the screen. That's how bad it was in the very beginning of the game. And then the Kronos just said, yeah, this is Freelo. And walked all over you guys.
Yeah, Jaybird on Kronos was probably the craziest thing I've ever seen, honestly. Like, he just did whatever he wanted, and it was really well done.
I have to say that, Jaybird in the first split, it was between him and Gokinator, but those two were just phenomenal at the ADC role last split, and just, I think, are they both still in the Classic League? I don't remember off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gokinator.
Well,
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I know Gok's
I
on
think.
It was just his
BOTG.
birthday the other day, and I said happy birthday to him, but I don't remember what league he's in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still on BOTG, but just watching those two last split, it was always so much fun seeing those two play each other because they not taking anything away from anybody else, but they were the two that showed like, hey, I want to be the one that's the best. And of all the ADCs in that league, they were the two that every time I watched them, they're trying to do everything 100% correctly, and they're trying to farm efficiently. They're trying to outbox the other ADC. And there's the two picks they both really like, which are the Jingwei and the Hachiman, that are really popular in the meta now and then, that they were fighting over. It's, sometimes one would get banned and the other one gets picked first and vice versa, but that's really the thing for me for all these league matches between the Classic, the Premier, and the Masters. They all have their different metas, but the most fun for me to watch is actually Classic, because you see all these players that are trying to improve, that are trying to get better, and learn what competitive smite is. And you can see that when they're playing, and it's very fun for me.
If you want that, you should watch us. We're hilarious. It's like a really bad sitcom.
Hey,
I think I casted your first game, but I honestly
was
at this point I
committed to
remember.
that Toxic Blade.
Wait a minute.
Oh, good lord.
I think I remember this, and I think I wasn't happy.
The Toxic Blade on solo
that was an
later.
illusion.
Oh, no.
That
Was
was an
that-
illusion. That
was-
didn't
It was an
happen.
illusion.
Was that on the Bologna, maybe?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, no.
I
that was
Actually,
an
I'm
illusion.
looking at our Team Split Push chat right now, and the most recent messages are Murican Zombie at me. The Toxic Blade was alive. What? When I was at Bologna in the last league match, I never actually built it at all. All an illusion.
He's like, we were talking
Those,
about
those are the
afterwards, he's
most
like, I
recent
didn't,
messages
he's
right
like,
now.
I was like, I picked it, and then I left, and then I was like, oh, that was bad.
He's still recoiling. I'm sorry. He's still recoiling a little bit from his thought process there.
That's all good.
But
there
we're
are
nervous. We're
times in
new. We're
Smite-
gonna get there. We're gonna get there though. And when we get there, y'all should be scared.
Yeah,
I'm just
I'll
saying.
give you that.
Yeah,
But
that
there are-
Cupid support.
There are times in Smite when you're trying to be
Don't
quick,
do that.
the pressure's on, you're doing all that stuff, and you're like, bam, you buy something because, you had that one little minuscule thought about, needing anti-heal or something maybe, and you're like, yeah, Toxic Blade, and off you run. And it's just like, yeah, what the hell did I just do?
Mm-hmm.
And like, now I'm going to have to make this work for now because I just spent
or
the
my
gold.
favorite, when I go back to base and I'm skipping happy because I'm buying trans, and then I buy Heartseeker.
Oh no, dude.
And then the entire game's ruined, and I'm like, well, I am literally fucked in my ass now, so
You know how
Back of my tower I go.
do you know how to fix that?
F6.
You just don't do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No,
you
actually-
just don't. You just
actually-
straight up do not.
Did you guys know that in the last patch, it wasn't in the notes, but if you leave Fountain now and you bought the wrong item, you can hit Alt F4 and it'll take care of that for you.
Yo, that's sick! I can't wait to do that in my Premier League match
That's
this
actually
week.
a really good change. I'm glad they brought that in.
Yeah. Is it just at the beginning of the game? Or is it any stage?
It's within 15 seconds of when you leave the fountain. You
Yeah,
can,
that's-
you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
go back.
It has to be the first
See-
time. The first time.
See,
yeah.
I think that's
Just
a
in
little
case you fuck up.
much because you should be punished for fucking up. But I have been wanting for a long time at the start of a game, let you go back and reset before minions spawn.
Oh, can I talk about that real quick? I've got a big juicy rant about that.
Yo,
Oh, do it.
hold up,
We
hold
love
up.
soapboxes.
Hold up.
Here's the soapbox. You can
There's a
borrow
soapbox.
ours.
Go for it.
All right, so here we go. Last week I was playing a casual match and I got mid lane. And I was, if you don't know me, I started off my Smite playing mages, but I never played like mid lane like in Conquest that much.
I
I,
hear
did
you.
a little bit
Same
last
thing.
season. Well, I did a little bit last season, but not much at all. So the first time I played Conquest, of course, mages go to mid at that point in time, and most of them do. So I was like, okay, I'll go to mid. You know, I love Nox, I love Yanis at the time, or Giannis rather. So I didn't have it set as a preset for the role queue thing. Now I had support and solo. Support because I'm support for my team that I'm playing for, and I need to get more practice with it. And solo because that's my main role nowadays. Even though I main jungle for 2.5 years, I realized my identity didn't fit that role. But long story short, I got mid in this match, right? I picked Uller because we had 2 magicals. We had a Poseidon that had jungle. We had like a Freya and like 2 tanks. So I leave the base. I've got my I wanted to try the Blackthorn Rush on Uller because I just wanted to see how it felt, if I liked it or not. And so I bought that, and I bought 3 health pots, and I was good to go. Well, until the Poseidon rolls up into the speed buff and proceeds to have Mage's Blessing and Tier 1 Chronos Pendant, and I'm like, dude, you were jungle, right? He's like, oh, fuck. So at that point, I'm a little tilted, so I'm like, okay, I don't tilt that easily, honestly, most of the time, but at this point, I'm just tilted, because it was just a day of just shit after shit for me. So at that point, I'm like,
I
okay,
had those
dude.
days.
Yeah. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'll play jungle, you go to the mid lane, and it sucks I can't buy my blessing now, because I really need it in the jungle.
Yeah.
So not only did that happen, when the buff spawned at 23.4 seconds, because I'm a jungle nerd, and I'm a Smite nerd, and I know all those things.
Oh, yeah.
Once it spawned, he started with this 1, which does technically have more damage at level 1, but usually you start at 3. I wasn't expecting it. So he throws the 1 out of my, bladed arrow, which is Uller's 1.
Yeah.
So effectively, I did 0 damage to that camp. And I was like, really, dude? This is how much you're gonna troll me this game? This is how this is gonna go? So,
This is how you want it to go down?
right. So I knew I was gonna be slow in the jungling portion, so I went straight to blue buff right after, because I knew back camps were gonna be horrible, and my ability wasn't gonna be up till then. Luckily, my Vomit solo came over through his, umbrella thing, whatever you call it. I don't remember at this point.
Umbrella Ring.
Yes, that one. That's exactly the one. So then after that, I still wasn't too, so I was like, okay, I'll go to back camps. And guess who's at my back camps? None other than this Poseidon, who has trolled me so far. So I still didn't hit level 2, and at that point, I walked straight to red buff that had been invaded. My back camps on the left side had been invaded. Left mids had been cleared. Purple buff got invaded. I'm just like, okay, I'll be level 1 until 3 minutes.
So I have a really good story about that.
It was you,
So
wasn't it?
basically, what happened to me was I was in this match. I got jungle, and there was a Thanatos jungle on the enemy team and a Nox mid. They showed up at my speed buff, both of them, and they killed both of us and took my speed buff because my mid laner took like his movement ability instead of anything that did damage to get away. And I'm like, bro, it's a Thanatos. He has 2 hit points. Hit him with a thing, he dies. But no, Okay, so whatever. I'm fine. Whatever. I'm Alquang. That's who I was. So I had no secure. I had no secure, no early game. I'm like, please, mage, do damage. No. Okay. Great. Awesome. My whole jungle on the left side's gone. Duo lane gets wiped. Whole jungle on that side's gone. So what do? I sit on my speed buff and I wait. Guess who's there the very second it spawns?
Hi, Thanatos.
Alting with a Nox inside of him.
Oh, no, dude.
Lands, Scythe, Nox pops out, I die, they take my speed buff, my team BMs me so hard, it literally tilted me into oblivion, so I muted them all before saying anything back that I would regret and end my Smite career.
Yikes.
Good control. Good control.
Whew.
See,
Keep it in.
This is why
right?
I play support.
So I die 7 more times to this Thanatos and Nox sitting in my jungle because my mid laner doesn't know how to play the game. And all of a sudden, I buy 2 items, and I went ahead and carried the rest of that game, and we won, and I had 30 kills.
Wow.
I went from 0-7 to 30-9.
That's insane. Talk about a comeback story.
Yeah.
Basically, all that happened was I bought Bubble Dress, and I got to finish like my attack speed items so that I could box the Thana as soon as he landed. And I knew that they were going to do it. Like, that was the thing. I wasn't building to win the game. I was building to beat those 2 in the early game, and then I built to win the game. So it was like perfect because I basically killed them like 4 times in a row after that because they kept trying to solo me with those 2. And
that's
somehow I fucking weaseled my way and killed them both every time after that. Like, I managed. I knew what they would do. I knew how they did it, you know. So it was really fun, and it was fucking amazing.
And that's the biggest thing about, Smite in general, not just Conquest. It's and people just fail to realize this, and this is just what it is. I get this after 5 to 6 years of playing this game. People just aren't gonna accept facts of some things. But there's situations where, if you're in the jungle and they have, say, an Aphrodite and a Sylvanas, you need to have brawlers by 3rd item, worst. Because at that point in time, they're going to have those healing abilities maxed. And then if you don't have that, you're losing every team fight because your damage is being absorbed by all the healing that they can provide for the team, and plus the Lotus Crown proc from Sylvanas and brought up the Asclepius out of Aphrodite, so forth. But
you know what? I think it might have been 20 kills, 10 assists, or 12 assists, because it was like 30 kill participation. 30 sounds high.
Oh, I got you. Either way, that's still impressive.
I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, that sounds really high. How did I do that?
That's why. That's why I play support. So I'm just always behind ever.
Yeah, well,
but that's kind of
30 minutes into the game, Yuki's hitting level 15, and he's shitting himself like, "Wow, that was fast."
I got to tell you, that's the one thing I had about support right now is I don't mind playing any role. I have no issues with that at all. But when I'm playing support right now, and you're in team fights, and it's 30 minutes into the game, and you're level 15. That's what really sucks.
But that's been the Smite since like season 3.
Oh yeah, I know.
Not necessarily this bad.
I think I understand it, but at the same time, I hate it.
Like, and I like playing support, but it's like we're going to these team fights, like we need to engage, and I'm like, bruh, I've got 2.5 items, or I've got an item and a half plus boots. What do you want me to do?
I'm level 8. I have 1 point in the Earth and Fury, and I don't have my shell available. And you want me to start a fight? Okay, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah,
and they're just like, I don't know. They've got to figure out. I've been saying this for like 2 years. They need to find some way. They need to build it into Guardian base stats. They need whatever they want to do to help Guardians. Like, I don't even mind being a level or 2 behind with Guardians. That's okay. Ish. That's okay.
Well, see, here's the thing: is they did the patch a few patches ago that was supposed to introduce the Ghost Minion and whatnot was designed so that you would hit level 2 sooner, and then before season 6 started, they introduced the lowest person on the team, as long as they're not DC'd or disconnected,
right.
They get that buff, right? The problem is pro players and higher level players figured out, hey, we can put safe hunters, like Kronos and Freya and Hachib and Jingwei, which we're seeing a lot of right now, and we can send them over there to get ahead. Why don't we put our support over in the solo lane, because things like Arthur and Jormungandr are a problem,
Yep.
And that's where we've been, at least in the Premier, the Masters, and like the actual, the competitive leagues, as far as like Smite Pro leagues, minor league.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing
yeah.
difference between Classic and those two to me, is because they don't necessarily do that. They'll do the normal 2-1-2 start, where you have a normal dual lane, you have your mid laner, you have your jungler and your support or your solo laner.
Yeah, that's been a frustrating point for us, especially Yugi.
Yeah, we never know where to start. So, like, I'm hovering between, mid and duo, and then the support appears in solo, and I'm like, well.
The biggest thing, honestly, is once that happens, you have to realize what you can take off the map for that. So,
Right.
for example...
Well, we learned how to do that, but we were scrimming against our coach that just taught us how to do it, so he countered us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really sucks.
This is what you do when they do that. Hey, watch, I'm going to screw them over, though.
Yeah.
Make them learn the hard way.
So I don't know what his counter strategy was for you guys, but basically...
He just had his Awilix go straight to red.
Yeah.
And we went to invade red right away as 2 in duo, but he had 3 people there already.
Yeah, and that's generally what you want to do, because, for example, in our first league match, it was top tier, which is my team, versus, I can't remember the name of the team off the top of my head, Exilium Black. They started 4 people in our jungle, because we had an early game Thanatos, we had a double Hunter composition to go with it. I was playing Fafnir, and we had a Xingqian solo. So, we didn't think that they were going to invade like that, so I was actually hovering the duo side. But then there was like, hey, Ymir's here, which was their support. And I was like, okay, well, I'll rotate to mid. I can't help you guys, but what we can do is we can win the mid lane for free, go steal red buff, come back, get the left mid harpies, do the wave, come back to our rolling red, and we can at least, take half of the jungle. But like you said, if that was what he had taught you guys to do, that's perfectly fine. But also, we've seen that adaptation now. We've seen every jungler go, if they're going to do that start, and they know they can get the invade, we see the jungler go from speed to red rather than speed to blue, or speed to max to blue. Even I noticed Sino the other day, he was going from speed to his normal back camp route, but he forgoed the blue route. He went straight back through the tier 2 and tier 1 tower right to red.
Yeah, that's what I believe they did. And it was just perfect timing. As soon as we had the time to clear wave and run over there, she had just gotten there, and everyone was like ready to gank. It was like, oh, seriously.
Yeah. Basically, what ends up happening from what I've seen is, doesn't matter where anybody starts, is y'all end up just like, and then, all right, you're all kind of mirrored now. You just gotta get through that little phase or whatever.
Yeah, and it's created. Back in season 3, we had a 3v3 mid lane level 2. We're kind of back to that now, and because of those things, and it makes teamfight gods like Hanbach even stronger, because the Fear No Evil is just an absurd teamfight
bigger
utility.
Circles equals better teamfight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's why you usually see like an Agni with it, or a Hera, or a Poseidon to pair with a Hanbach. Zeus even, like high damage, high AoE is what wins those 3v3 fights. That's why right now, one of my favorite supports is Serket, but I can't play her in the league right now, because if I do, we're going to lose the 3v3 fight in mid. Yeah, because she doesn't provide what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been an interesting thing, because I used to be our jungler mostly. I jungled for years, honestly. I mostly played jungle since I started playing Smite, and I just switched to carry for this league. And I'm kind of glad I did, because I've always been the 1v1 god kind of assassin instead of the team fight assassin. I just haven't practiced them, so I would potentially suck right now.
Yuri's doing good, but
Yuri is doing great. I'm really happy with Yuri.
I think everyone, you got to think Merc and Zombie, our solo laner. His second game of Conquest was our first match.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
we're coming in this raw, and we're having a good time with it.
Yeah, there's some frustration involved, but that's Conquest, and we decided to learn it here because we're insane. So, we've got our. We can't
handle casuals, why not go to a league?
You chose the right league, to be honest with you, because the Classic League is all about helping each other out. I still talk to, I was a sub for Get Paper Scissors, as I said earlier, before we started the podcast, in the first split. And I never thought about playing. Caitlin asked me, and I wasn't going to tell her no because she's a good friend of mine. And
Why not?
I ended up I didn't even get used the entire original split because nobody ever needed to be sub for it.
Yeah.
It just so happened in the Classic League tourney that I needed to sub for them, and it went pretty well. But speaking of that, you guys were mentioning Hercules earlier before we started this podcast, and I gotta say that ever since that one Hercules game I had in the tournament, it's been banned 9 straight times in Classic League sets.
Yeah, that's always a good feeling when you're getting banned out, because you're like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Fear it.
Yeah,
Fear it.
I tend to wonder if you guys are going to see an Al Kwong ban in your next match.
I think we might. I think they
his
might be a
Al
little
Kwong-
scared of
Yuri's Al Kwong is rough.
Yuri's Al Kwong now. Yuri Kwong is pretty strong.
So-
Lucille Kwong.
So I mentioned earlier, my favorite thing about the Classic League in general is because you see people want to learn how to get better, and you can see the improvement step by step. The next thing that interests me the most about all of Smite competitively, whether it's going to be Classic and below, or Premier and above, or Pro League, are, you have these sets. They're best of 3, or best of 5, or whatever they are, whatever they happen to be. And you start to see, the first set's generally like your standard bands. Like right now is there's a list of 6 or 8 that you have to get rid of potentially, which are like Chronos, AMC, King Arthur, Jormungandr, Hunbots, Jingwei. There's just a lot of different ones. But as the game ends, they're like, okay, was there a bigger problem character than a meta character? Can we let a really good meta character go through? And then sometimes you'll see a random Circuit band, or in my case, in the first bands phase, you would see a standard VAM and then Hercules, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just pick one of 104 gods. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Hercules, isn't he our session on that progression?
Yeah,
is.
but that we're not quite there yet.
Not quite.
No,
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a pretty solid transition. Yeah.
I tried.
You tried.
I
You
did.
tried.
I was already on top of our time schedule. We're not at that point in time.
Dirtnap's
Look,
dad.
I just
taking
know
the
we
lead.
babble.
I'm back I'm gone 1 week, and so are you. I come back, I'm on point, and you're trying to rush us out of here or something, man. I'll tell you.
No,
that.
I know we babble, and I'm like, is this too much?
No. We're
I
good.
didn't know.
I was
Hey,
quite enjoying
don't
some
bitch
of the
at me, man.
conversations going on here. Some good games going on. Did you guys even talk
Okay,
about your
hold on.
second
I got
game where
to-
you didn't suck?
Oh, we still sucked. We still sucked.
Just
not
just wanted
nearly
to throw
as
that out there that, they may have went one, only got 1 kill in the first game and gotten trounced.
Oh yeah.
But the second game, they put up a fight. And
The second game, not only did we put up a fight, we got an objective.
Yeah,
we got
took
some
an objective.
objectives.
Hey.
Yep. They
And seriously, that sounds like, oh wow, you guys are fucking
You-
trash.
you know
yeah,
what?
we are. But guess what? That's really big to us.
I think
'Cause
I
we
did
hadn't
cast
taken
the
one
set
before.
now. I think I helped cast the second game of that set. I do remember that.
Yeah, because we had
Yeah.
Arkwatch and Naja.
Yeah.
Everyone was surprised at our pick too, and I would love to explain that right now. I'm our shot caller, and I usually am mostly in charge of okay, what are we gonna try to pick towards? What are we gonna try and lean on? What are we gonna? And we're all new at this, so this is all very new. And that first game, we tried that, and we got shit on. And I looked at everybody, and everybody was grumpy, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck the meta, fuck whatever. Just play what you're good at, play what you like playing, and build it how you like building it. And look how much better we did. You know what I mean?
Well,
So I think we just really need to get past the jitters and stop trying to play the meta so perfectly and really just be ourselves. And once we do, then we'll make our own name, finally.
We do run into a problem with that, Dan. One problem.
Oh, yeah.
No. It's not even what you think it is.
Okay.
I play really weird supports if we go that route.
Oh, that's not... Okay, I actually have an idea. And I don't even know if I want to release it on the podcast, but maybe I will. Morrigan carry with Ares support. I'm telling you, it's sick. Not for the league. It would just be for fun.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would
Yeah.
be for the
Oh,
league.
yeah.
That would just be for fun. Just put that out there. Don't anyone get any crazy ideas.
As long as
I'm
you
not
have a
that
high
good.
pressure mid like on her or something like that, you can definitely pull that off.
Yeah. But it would just be like a classic, for the lulz, beads this bitch. Like,
Yeah.
So I actually, you don't even have to have a hunter in the mid lane. What you can do is you can have like a Kali or a Bakasura or even a Mercury in the jungle, and then still have a physical solo, and you can still have the 3
Oh, yeah.
magical. It's something
Yeah.
you definitely
Oh,
can
yeah.
do. And can you
It's
imagine 2 late game Kalis? I mean, hello.
yeah, exactly. 2 late game collies walk into a Phoenix.
So talking about just imagining things, did you all catch that Kuzumbo video that's been going around this last week here? One-shotting
The
the
yellow
Zeus?
shell. The yellow shell Nene.
Oh.
I have not myself, but I will say this: in my second set, our second set this week, we played against, or no, it was just actually against Exilium Black. I'm remembering this wrong. Our solo laner was playing King Arthur, and they started Horus and Kuzubo in the solo lane against him. And Kuzubo built all damage because he was so far ahead of everything, and it was just absolutely the worst experience of my life.
Yeah, Kuzumbo from ahead is literally hell on earth. I will agree with that.
Dude, but still, they one-shotted as a Zeus. That was
Yeah,
just
he threw his Nene and it
fucking
one shot a
tastic.
Zeus.
Yeah.
One hit. Just the hit of the Nene.
Well, that's like getting the on her.
That's
The on her. Now with the Afro buffs on her, like a 1,500 damage crit. Or no, it was like 2,500, right? It was some obscene number.
yeah, it was insane. Like literally one-shotting gods with crit. Like that's crazy. Okay, I have a really good Hercules story for you. And I think you're really gonna like this one. Are you ready, Majin? Are you ready for this?
I am
this
here.
is gonna be a good one.
I am ready.
Okay, so we're playing.
I'm not
Clash.
ready. I'm not ready.
Oh, okay. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. We're playing Clash, right? We're just lolling around, and there's 4 people in our little mid cluster there, and we have a Ganesh on Yuki and Dad on Ra. Dad throws his Ra ult through 4 people, right?
Yikes.
Yuki drops the Ganesh ult, and I Herc push 4 people over the line for an instant quadra kill.
Holy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's
my
a Herc.
God.
I gifted
And that
3
was
of them.
all in like a 2-centimeter space, like the one choke point, like to get out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
To be
It
fair,
was
I
that's,
just
I
shoved
gifted
them all
3 of
into a
those.
wall right on top of it.
And it was
And it
all
was
at once,
totally
too.
on accident. Like I had no idea that he was going to do it.
That is absolutely. So this is what I love about Smite, man, is you can have these accidental things happen that just set up something crazy. For example, there's a clip on my stream from the last game we casted, or not the last game we casted, one before that, from Sunday. An Opwash stun set up a double kill final judgment, and it was the first time I have ever seen that in Smite history. It was sick. Like
That's awesome.
J-Mac and Fuzzy went crazy on cast, so I absolutely had to clip that.
I'm going to have to go watch that at
Yeah,
some point.
we've had some weird stuff in Joust. Like I'll be playing Nausea support, and I don't remember what was going on. But we were, I was like, we're doing this under tower. I got bored of them sitting under tower, so I Nausea ult, and I ult through one person who dropped from another ability coming through somebody's ult, and hit the person that was behind them and killed them before going in the air with the Nausea ult. But I got the double kill. I confirmed damage on the first person to get the kill, but my ult went through and made contact with the second person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's a bit nuts. Just a bit.
I don't know how this. I was like, look, I have mystical mail. No, okay, I have no idea what's going on here. There's some wacky shit. There's some great stuff we've like done intentionally. Again, the Cupid support thing is a joke. But we've done that to hilarious effect.
Oh my god, yeah, I just saw the final judgment.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's absolutely sick. And you're talking about like accidental things. It happens when I play solo lane. There are some times where I don't see the map, but I play a situation so perfectly for my jungler, and I don't even realize it. It's crazy sometimes. He's just like, hey, I'm coming over. I'm like, oh, you're already here, and I didn't even know, but I'm right here.
I'm right here and ready to go. Let's do it.
It's like, okay, I just used my driving track, but it's still got my ultimate too. Let's go. We're good. But
there's been times where I'm like mid soloing somebody and my jungler just crashes down out of the sky and I'm like, oh, I guess I can save my ult. Thanks.
So this is gonna be something really troll. That's gonna sound like it, but it was so funny when this happened, and I can send you this clip if I can go back and find it. But I was playing Cerberus solo against King Arthur because I am a theory crafter. I like to find the gods or items that can be good into the newest god that's going to be great that's coming out. Because let's be honest, this is what Smite
Cerberus has free anti-heal.
This is what Smite does. Yeah, that was my thought process, right? And
Nice.
So we got what I thought was a troll in the jungle, and it was a Cupid. So what ended up happening...
Cupid jungle against Arthur!
I had no idea Cupid was rotating. I ulted King Arthur onto my tower. As soon as I started ult, he dropped Fields of Love so Arthur couldn't move.
And it's just like, nice.
It was like, you know what? Any other jungler that might not work, but because it's actually a fucking Cupid that would be perfect, it actually worked.
Yeah. Honestly, I've made some really weird shit work. Like, Uller jungle is funny. I've played Giannis jungle so many times, inspired by Chapo. Thank you, my lord.
Artemis support is more terrifying than people give it credit for.
I'm known for a soul laner, and I'm known for a caster, mainly. But actually, my most played god is actually Janus.
His main career is actually memeing.
Yeah, I meme at Aaron sells on these on a daily basis.
I love Giannis because you can just be so fucking annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could just portal through the wall, hit him with a 2, ult back through, ult through them, portal through the wall, hit him with a 2, walk over your line, too fast to catch, bye.
My favorite,
what just happened?
My favorite
Oh,
thing
Giannis
about
came
Janus is like the random snipes you get on people or onto like Fire Giant and steal it. Because like you're like, okay, I'll just throw this out here. If it works, cool. If not, it doesn't happen, and it's what it is. But every time you hit it, it's like, oh my god!
Yeah, I think one of my favorite inspirational videos to play Giannis was from Weekend a long time ago. It was an old video, but he throws his Giannis ult from Fountain, gets a double kill, follows the portal the whole way through, and portals another time, and then gets the rest of the penta, and I'm just like, oh my god.
I remember that clip, and it makes me proud.
I think one of my you're talking about Giannis.
Oh my god, yes, please. That is what I want to do.
You're talking about Giannis. He has one of my favorite character interactions. If you Giannis portal under a Freya whoop.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then we had this happen. The timing was great. So the Giannis or the Freya whoops and the Giannis portal's late, but it's okay because the whoop goes down. He falls into the portal. And I'm playing Xing Tian, and I knock him up and ult him. So, I mean, like, it was just,
Just like, here, have 10 seconds of your life gone. Gone forever.
Yeah,
he couldn't move. He just never really hit the ground.
So that's a combo that I showed Truth one day. I don't know if you guys know him or not. He played in the Classic League last split. But I showed him this composition back in the day that one of my original teams actually ran. We did Giannis jungle. Speaking of the Freya, we did the Freya. We did Naja, King Arthur, and Kumba. So literally as many banishes as you can get onto one person. It happened.
That's hilarious.
It was
just be in the sky. Just be in the sky.
That's
Goodbye.
Okay. My one goal for the league. And Guy's gonna have to bite the bullet, or someone's gonna have to play something squirrely. I want to get
Kumba
the Ares through the Giannis ult.
Oh my god, that reminds me of that Collis play with Wolfie last year, and I went nuts.
Exactly, right by the Phoenix.
I went nuts. I was like, oh, I forgot you can do that. Like, I was just going crazy.
I went nuts because I was like, I didn't know you could do that. It changed my whole life.
So, like, long story short, I work for Aaron Sells things. It's a rent-to-own company. So,
right.
I was on work break, and I was in the back. So I watched the SPL whenever, I'm on break. I'm like watching SPL, I'm eating or drinking whatever my lunch is. And that happened, and I went absolutely bonkers. My boss came back to see what was going on, and so I had to like clip it and show him what happened and why it was so nuts. And he has no idea what esports is.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, holy shit, man.
My
It's
boss
like-
is like, is that Smite again? Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Oh god, my poor cousin. I tell him about it all the time, and he's like the reason I started playing and everything. But he stopped, and I'm still just like chugging along years and years
Yeah.
later, and he's like, "You talking about Smite
See,
again?"
that's
I'm
what
like,
happened
Yeah.
to me. Is long. This is a little short story. I lived in Virginia for 6 years. I'm originally from South Carolina, and I'm back here now. But up there, I was, my wife now. She unfortunately lost her job suddenly because companies just do those things. They were like, "Hey, we're not going to exist for after 2 weeks, so find a job." So I had literally just moved up there months prior. I had been hopping around the house and whatnot, and I found a job with McDonald's. Started as a grill guy, moved all the way up to assistant manager, all that jargon. Well, in the meantime, I found one of my best friends I've ever had, and his in-game name was Dark Lord Peaches, and he didn't really get to play that much, and I played with him. It was so much fun. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just doing random stuff. I was playing like Kogi, Neith, and Janice at the time, so I was just doing whatever off of whatever areas he could set up. But he's the reason I got into Smite, and even though he left it, like you said, and have that friend that doesn't really play it anymore, I have continued to this day to enjoy and play this game, and I've made so many new friends I never would have before, and it's just been so enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Smite is just a really great community. Once you find the good ones, there are definitely toxic zones, but once you find the right spot for yourself, you're really in a good place.
Absolutely.
Especially, and I would say Exilium is one of those places. So if you're looking for a place like that, hop on over in the Exilium Discord, guys.
Yeah, that's the
Pretty
whole
cool
point
place.
of Exilium, I believe, is from my understanding. It's a place for gamers to unite, regardless of the game, to have a good time, to have non-toxic, a non-toxic environment, and just have fun. Important. Most of the Discord, yes, is Smite, but it doesn't mean that's all they do. Like, there's like different games on there, like Rainbow Six and Minecraft and other things that some other people do play and are a part of. So,
Oh yeah, we got channels for other games.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, there you go. I mean, that's it's a really cool place, and not to be pushy or anything, but I think it's time we got into her.
Damn.
Not to be pushy. I get it.
You see what I did there?
Dan,
Do you see
Dan,
what
I feel
I
like
did
you were
there?
carrying this huge weight over your shoulders. You just had to throw it out in front of you before it just wore you down.
that reminds me of stuff I say on cast. They'll be like, "And here comes Baron. He's using his life in the party, but he falls into his own coffin."
And it's just like, oh.
Nobody's with me on that? Yeah.
Dude, I remember. Okay, hold on. I'll save that for the end, maybe. Save that for the end. We gotta talk
Okay.
about Hercules.
Okay.
We gotta talk about Hercules.
All right. So this session of progression, we will be moving on to ye old Hercules here. Yuki, do you want to review his lore, or should we just direct people to watch the Disney movie?
No, we're doing the lore because the Disney movie, as amazing as it is wrong.
He's wrong.
Just
Darn
a wee
it! I
bit.
really wanted to believe that was historically accurate.
I mean,
My
is
childhood is now ruined, and I really blame you for this.
that's fine. But we still have the Lion King. It's okay.
Oh,
Was that a
thank
lie
God.
too? Because it's got lion in the name.
No. Everyone knows if you travel the world, at some point you'll see a baboon holding a lion cub on a rock with a giant beam of light, and Elton John just hammering the keys on a piano.
So they're not lion, they're just lion. I got you.
Yes.
They're not lion mane.
Oh,
And
no.
if you're going too slow and there's a stampede behind you, you must Mufasa.
Ouch.
Come on, you gotta Mufasa.
Where's the power button?
That reminds me of last night in the cast. There was Panda. Panda's a player for Girl Patrol. He's the mid laner right now, and he was playing on her, and I was like, guys, I didn't realize this was like that Pokemon thing that's going on right now, the Pokemon Fusion. And people were like, go to the site, use Pokemon Fusion, and you get two random Pokemon, it combines the names, and that's what your Pokemon starter is, right? So, if you guys didn't see it, Jithan's posted one. I know he's been on here before, and shout out to him, by the way, for the Picks and Bands software that we use. It's phenomenal that we get to do something like that, all because of him.
That is awesome.
Thank you, J-Mac.
Jethans.
Jithens.
Jithens. Thank you too, J-Mac.
Idiot.
We like you too,
Swear to God, I
J-Mac.
heard J-Mac for some
You know
reason.
But the
While we're
funniest...
here, thanks, Raythan.
I heard J-Mac a long time ago, so maybe that's why my brain...
That's all right. But he actually posted that thing, and he got Zapdos and Butterfree, and combined it was called Zap Free. So, of course, he added Zapman and that said, you know what? The lore was right. Zap is free.
Oh, man. Nice.
So that happened, and then I was thinking of that in the middle of the cast, and I was like, wait a minute. Panda's playing on her, which is a lion. Is this a panda or a lion? Is it a hybrid? Like, I don't even know at this point.
That's awesome.
All right.
All right, Yuki, get into that lore.
Hercules. Hercules.
Hercules.
Exactly. So Hercules is started out as a demigod, so half human, half god. He later doesn't become a god, surprise, but then becomes deified by the Roman people. It's a little complicated.
Woo-hoo.
So Zeus did his thing, turned into an animal, did inappropriate Zeus things to a human, because, you know, Zeus is an asshole. I think we've covered that by now, right? Every time he pops up, just
Zeus
Zeus
is
is
an
a dick.
asshole.
All right.
Poor Hera, man.
If anyone doesn't know that, Zeus is a major fucking asshole,
Yeah.
and Hera should be loved and
Yeah.
sent flowers.
So, where we get to I'm gonna actually kind of work towards his base character model in the game, because there's a lot of aspects on there we can touch on. Zeus grows up.
I don't want to touch on it.
Yeah.
It's a little too
Or
masculine.
Zeus grows up. Hercules grows up, you know, doing his thing. Adventures of Young Hercules on Disney. That's close enough for his early life. Then we move into the 90s TV series, and Hera is like, yo, dude, you're Zeus's kid. Fuck off. You're going to kill your family. And Zeus is like, that's kind of messed up. And Hercules is like, what the fuck, bro? Thanks, stepmom.
Yeah, anyway.
And goes on his trials, and in the trials of Hercules, he ends up, you know, doing his 7 labors, goes through all that. And when we get to the character model, is the golden lion skin on the base model is actually the hide of the Nemean lion. And the item itself in the game is also tied into that, where it reflects damage. It's actually pretty accurate. But what it does for Hercules is makes him invulnerable. And definitely the wackiest thing about Hercules is that he cannot die because of the Nemean lion. Except for the arrows he picks up, he uses with his bow and arrow. He defeats the Hydra and dips his arrows in Hydra poison, so that he can kill anything. Right? He just one-shots. He, 360 no scope, GG, anything out there in the ancient world. And it's like, yeah, I'm Hercules. I'm awesome. I'm doing my things. My labors are complete. Everybody loves me. Oh, I accidentally poked myself with an arrow. Dead. So Hercules kills himself by accident by accidentally poking himself in the back with an arrow.
That literally is so me.
As soon as you said that, the first thing I thought of was Chop Suey.
Yes.
Trusted my self-righteous suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hercules is really
Hercules.
big in the stories of mythology, right? Because he kind of works as this tie-in of Greek soldiers into Roman. That's Heracles. Roman soldiers, and with all that, everyone strives to want to be like Hercules and strong, and that's why they do with the wrestling and all that is really tied into Hercules. He doesn't really have a temple because, like I said, he's not technically ever became a god. He killed himself before then. But he uses the image for Roman men and soldiers to strive to for a lot of the period. Even through the fall of the rise of the Roman Empire until we get to when Christianity came in. And he continues. So he shows up in Germanic lore. He gets transitioned over into Christianity imagery. He really spans the ages. And again, still a really popular character. Again, the Disney movie, you had the Legendary Journeys of Hercules. So he still pops up today. He's in our game. He's got a gank-ass rock. And Dan's going to let us know all about why Warriors are broken this season.
Well, after they buffed all their base stats, twice? Oh my god.
Herc didn't need a buff.
Yeah, the health, and I forget what the other one was.
Yeah, it's like, oh, ouch. The ones that didn't need help really just got a lot of help. Anyway,
Yep.
Hercules' passive we'll start with. Strength from pain. Every time Hercules takes damage from an enemy god, he gains a stacking self buff that provides increased physical power. Maximal physical power stack, or the physical power stack per stack, is 5 plus 1 per level. So 25 per stack max.
Which
And then 3 stacks max. That's 75 power. That's Bloodforged.
That's fine.
Mhm.
Ouch. That's fine.
So that's
fine,
this
guys.
is a little bit of a spoiler for me, but this is why, like, when King Arthur was picked originally, this is the first character I thought of, because he like hits you with his abilities and whatnot. So okay, fine. Well, you're just gonna make me stronger, so when I driving strike you with my auto attack cancel, you're gonna take just as much health as I did, and I'm just gonna heal it back.
Interesting. And speaking of driving strike, Hercules delivers a mighty strike, driving all enemies back, damaging and stunning them. Hercules is immune to knockback during this dash. The damage is 85 scaling to 365 plus 90% of your physical power.
That's
And
fine.
the stun, yeah, that's wild, by the way. The stun goes from 1.1 to 1.5, scaling plus 0.1 second per level.
Actually, not that bad.
Yeah, not that bad. Thank you. At least there's that.
So a little thing about driving strike. Back in the day when he was first being used against Guan Yu, people wouldn't driving strike Guan Yu because Guan Yu's Tower Assault, you can't knock him back, right? Well, people didn't realize what the coding for driving strike actually is in line for. The coding for driving strike is a stun into a knockback into a stun. So the stun negates any effect of the Tower Assault. So it allows you to knock back Guan Yu.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just says... Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't say stunning first, but it does do that. Okay, interesting. There you go.
It doesn't say it. That's the key. It's the way it's written in the coding, and unless you take the time to figure it out, you won't ever know this. It's the same thing like Crucible 3 also works because it's a silence into a pushback, which is also a knockback.
Gotcha. Interesting. All right, his second ability,
Very interesting.
Earthbreaker. Hercules smashes the ground, setting a shockwave forward that does damage to all enemies in the path. Enemies at the end of the shockwave are thrown into the air towards Hercules. Also a great auto-cancel ability. Damage, 80 to 260 plus 50% of your physical power. I like the scaling better on that one, at least.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
You don't want to see when it was 70% back in like season 2. By the way, that was
No.
No.
so. I like that.
I've seen enough
uh,
Hercules.
I like that you mentioned the auto attack cancels because I actually have a video about Hercules in general. I did this season. But that's one thing I cover, is because everybody looks for the 2-1 combo, the most famous combo, but the auto attack cancel combo is just as important.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it actually does pretty good substantial amount more damage.
Yeah, so for example, if you auto attacked into a driving strike, let's just say the auto attack is 100 damage, right? The driving strike is doing 365, and of course there's mitigations and things like that, but we're just going to call it 365. So you've done 465 at that point, and then you auto-attack cancel, which means that the basic attack animation that would happen doesn't happen, and it instantly applies the auto-attack. So now you're looking at 565, and then you press 2 and do another 260. Now you're looking at, I think it's just under 800, and it does also auto-attack cancel there. So you're looking at 800 damage at level 12 if you max the 2.
Yeah, like that's a big, hefty chunkerino of damage. So something to be thought about while you're playing Hercules. You're not only a pluck bot, you can also dish out some damage when you need to. Speaking of damage, he can also get rid of it for free. Mitigate wounds. Hercules heals himself instantly and gains increased magical and physical protections for the next 4 seconds. A percentage of the damage taken during this time is returned to him as an additional heal at the end of the duration. The initial heal is 60 to 220. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a lot.
The protections buff is 20 to 60. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
The damage return as healing is 30 to 70%. Wow, okay.
So,
Please, Giannis ult me after I hit 3 so that I get my entire health bar back and laugh at you.
It's funny you say that. So this is the thing this is why I don't build Emperor's Armor on Hercules. So what you do is you press 3, and it's going to be level 20 by the time you're sieging anyway. You press 3, so you get hit, so you can take the tower before the minions get, or take the Phoenix or whatever. So by the time you've taken all those shots, you're just back to 100% health.
Yep.
It's fine. His
Yeah,
kid's so
it's
crazy.
fine. I actually watched a video where I think it was Duke Sloth built a specific build with Hercules that could infinitely tank towers,
Mm-hmm.
even with the scaling thing.
It's not really scaling. You have to be the level 19 because that's where you get the 70% return.
No, I meant with when they added how towers now scale up in damage per hit.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Even with that, he's still infinite tower shots. I'm like, that is.
Yeah,
That's what I have to
as
say
long
about
as you
that.
have X amount physical protection plus 40% cooldown, it's ridiculous.
And I've seen Hercules do some fucking wonky shit. I mean, like, there's nothing to be said, nothing better to see than your Hercules from Solo Lane just walking around with 4 people chasing him for like an hour in the top of their jungle. You guys do Gold Fury, you go over, kill Fire Giant. He's still up there, just fucking half health, ditching, pushing him around, knocking him around, healing. You watch him ult him a couple times during the whole ordeal. A couple times, I say, because, when we get to his ult in just a second, you'll see why. No, you won't. It doesn't say the cooldown in the fucking tooltip. What?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm on the shitty website. Hold on.
You gotta quit doing that.
Hold on. I'm rerouting.
Redirecting.
Rerouting.
Somebody
All right,
get
there we
Danny
go.
Garmin.
All right. Sorry.
Recalculating route.
Excavate. Hercules rips a huge boulder from the ground. Throwing the boulder does damage where the boulder lands. The boulder continues rolling, doing the same damage to all enemies in his path. Subsequent hits on the same enemy do 50% less damage per hit. Hercules is immune to crowd control while casting. It doesn't say anything about it, but it bounces.
A lot.
Yes.
Yeah, and it will bounce like 3 times. I'm pretty sure it's just the same as Hui bounce, but way more OP.
It can actually, I hate to burst your bubble, but it can actually bounce more than that if you throw it in the right spot.
Okay, well, you know what? Everyone is dead in the right spot.
Well, not necessarily,
Anyway,
because you were saying the 50% less, less damage
Oh,
per
that's
hit.
true. That's true. That's still a lot, though, because once we get to this... Oh, God, I'm looking at the damage. I'm cringing. 300 to 800 plus 100% physical power? More power! More! That's like a fucking spirit bomb, dude. That is a fucking spirit ball. That thing is crazy.
So, I know that one's kind of nuts, but, so it's 800 plus 100%, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So there's another warrior that he doesn't do quite as much base damage, but there's actually higher scaling for it. Do you know who that is?
No, not offhand.
So that would be Tyr. His Lawbringer is 450, and his ult, just like Hercules, goes down from 90 to 70, and on the cooldown as you level it. But the scaling is actually 120%.
Yeah.
Oof. Oofta.
Don't worry,
Oofta,
Hercules does hit harder because it has higher base damage, but it still freaking
Right.
hurts.
But that's some scaling. I mean, seriously, why does a warrior need 120% scaling? Did you know? Okay, this is hilarious to me. One of Tyr's like little in-game achievements is to get 15 kills in one game with Lawbringer.
Yes, I don't have that one,
Who
but
the
yes.
fuck is that good?
I just want to know where they came up with some of these. Like, some gods, you play the god and you roll your face around the keyboard and you get both awards that game. And then there's
I did that with
6-year
Ulan.
veterans like, who the fuck came up with this piece of shit? I got 20 stars on this guy, still don't got that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
there's
the
some
thing.
weird ones.
Oh,
There's definitely some weird ones. But yeah, those are Hercules' abilities. He's got fucking insane scaling. His healing's ridiculous. I've seen him heal for like 1,600 in one heal, like easily.
It is nuts, and there is actually one more I want to mention as far as like the high scaling abilities for the ultimate side of the warriors.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Achilles.
I knew it. Son of a bitch.
His fatal strike.
His ult does so fucking much damage, but everyone only uses it for an execute.
Yes, that's the problem. Use
Use it to engage.
So here's the thing. It is nice to get the reset off of it, but 540 base damage plus 100% power, that, I mean, you're talking about doing as much as a Hunter crit can do at late game. And if you can do the execute and just do that. If you can you can get 2 executes off the fight, don't even bother for going for the third one unless they're just already that low, because you do 600, 700 damage to them instantly, and then you just, hey, I got shield bash, let me stun you and do another 330 damage.
Yeah, I specifically remember we were I was jungling, and the enemy jungler was an Achilles, and he kicked our ass. And I'm like, how is he doing this? He's ulting first. Like, I thought that was garbage until I looked at the freaking numbers he was doing to me with that ult, and I'm like,
That's the reason why you saw me in our first set that we played, or second set. Our first set in the classic tournament that we played for Forget Memphis against Tribal. Or was it? I'm not sure if it was that match or no. Actually, it was the second set we played for the third place. It was against BOTG. I was playing against Hihei, and we gave them Hercules, and I picked Achilles, and we actually got him last pick. That's who I actually who I wanted, because I didn't think they would think I would want Achilles, so we didn't opt for it that early. We just let it go through the draft. But that's why I picked Achilles at the point in time, because if you build Glad Shield like King Arthur does, and you can stun him and use your auto attack cancels and your combat dodges on him with your Radiant Glory, you will out-heal anything he does to you, and he will actually be lower than you. And in that instance, I was able to show that, just because King Arthur at the time, with the true damage and everything, is a busted character, you can take other characters. We saw the Camazotz earlier that season. We saw like a little bit of different things, but if you can take Achilles and do it, you can do it with just about anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're about to.
Before we get too far, too far off subject, let's kind of zone in on Hercules here a little bit more. So,
yeah, my bad, guys.
Build. No, that's all right. We get sidetracked here all the time.
Don't apologize at all. This is
we're part of
this
the
is
problem.
quality content, my friend.
We'll just cut,
We just gotta get back on
all of
track.
Dan's audio to make up time. It's fine.
Yeah. So what would you say? Initial ability build out and initial what's the getting started quick for Hercules over there in the old solo lane?
So it is definitely matchup dependent for me. I will start off with saying, if I see you build Glad Shield, I will absolutely hate you for the rest of your life. It's the most misconcepted thing in Smite. So the thing is with Hercules, yes, his driving strike is very easy to hit, but his Earthshaker not so easy to hit, and it takes a lot of practice and a lot of anticipation. Solo lane is all about learning what your opponent is doing, and once they learn your patterns and how you like to change up your patterns, they can juke that too so easy, so then you're just wasting the Glad Shield effect. You're not getting the health and mana restore. So if I say I'm against a warrior, right now there's 2 different build paths I start out with. If it's against a warrior that does a lot of damage, I actually like to go into Breastplate of Valor, second item after boots.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm against a low pressure warrior, say like a Nike, I will rush the Blackthorn Hammer because I can abuse the power that it gives me. So generally, what I like to do is I choose between 2 boots options. I either go for the Warrior Top Eye for the burst, or I go with the Talaria because the mana sustained, and then I'm going to get invaded. That's one plan that teams had against me when I started picking Hercules, is they wanted to invade my blue buff over and over. So then I just switched it up and said, I'll just build Talaria, and I'll have my 15 MP5, and I'll be cool. To go with that MP5, Breastplate of Valor, 10 MP5, 300 base mana, 65 protections, you get the 20% cooldown reduction you want. Plus, if you do happen to have your blue buff, it gives you another 15 MP5, so at that point you're sitting at roughly 45 to 50, so you get basically MP5 stands for mana for 5 seconds, so over 5 seconds, you at 50 MP5, you would get that much back. You get 10 MP5 per second at that point. That's how that equates out, for those that didn't know that. From there, depending on what the jungler is, say I do have a physical soul laner and I have a physical jungler, I will opt into a Void Shield or another physical defense option, or even maybe an early Spirit Robe. Spirit Robe is the most underbought solo lane item and even jungle item, because those mitigations it can provide you once you hit with the heart control, crowd control, is really a big deal, and can be the difference of you surviving a gank and you not. So that's kind of like what I start with. But if it's a magical jungler, say it's an Akwang, a Habois, and they have healing, I'll go Pestilence. If they don't have healing, sometimes a Talisman Energy, sometimes I'll still build Pestilence because it's the best effective HP for a magical item. If you don't know about that, I suggest you looking it up. I think Flare Boot has a guide on that. Maybe I'm wrong. But basically, how it equates is 10 procs equals 100 health. So if you look at that magical item, you have 200 base health plus 800 more health against magical. That's pretty much how that equates to.
Talisman, I think, is underrated.
It is, but it has to be used on the right character at the right time.
Right.
Achilles is one of the best ones with it, in my opinion, because he likes to group up the wave, clear it, and then just rotate to the next thing that's going on. But to not go too far off of that, so we're at this point, let's just say we're at Warrior Tabai, we're at Breastplate of Valor, and Pestilence. I have a Spirit Robe at that point, or if my team's getting a lot of kills and I'm not getting a lot of assists, I will go into a Hide of the Urchin, try to get that stacked up. But honestly, I would rather have the Spirit Robe. And then after that, it's all situational building. Do you need a Witchblade? Do you need a Hide of the Neon Lion? Do you need a Guardian Mail? Do you need a Genji's Guard for more MP5 and more magical protection?
Do you need a Transcendence?
Do you need a Transcendence? Is your hunter not putting out enough damage?
Are you the only one doing anything? Might as well build Beatstick. Just saying.
And honestly, I have done that on Campazon sometimes as like a 5th item.
Oh yeah. Sometimes on a solo laner, it's like, all right, I see where this is going. All right, I could do this.
But that's generally what I do
That's
generally what I do for every solo laner. But for Hercules specifically, if it's against the physical, that's what I go through. I will say the Oni Hunter Garb with Spirit Robe is insane because of the mitigations you get. As an Achilles, one game, I mitigated 115,000 damage in 45 minutes, and I took a total of 180,000 damage.
Wow.
And you probably died twice.
I died twice, just so you know.
Yep, see, I was right on the jolly spot.
Yep.
There we are.
But if I'm playing against a magical character, I get my boots online. I'm looking for, okay, do they have healing? Because if they do, I want to get the Pestilence early enough. If not, then I'll go for a Genji's Guard because I'll get the cooldown. I'll get the passive to get the cooldown reduction for those abilities every 30 seconds once they hit me with a magical ability or a basic attack. The insane amount of 40 MP5 on that item. It's been packed for a long time, and it's underbought because Pestilence is often needed, or even Oni Hunters right now is the way it's been. Exactly. The last few patches, it's been insane. But I'll look for that there. Then I'll look into a physical item or a physical protection item. Sometimes it's a Void Shield, sometimes it's a Valor, sometimes it might be like a Spirit of Mantle. But usually at the end of the day, what my build looks like generically is Warrior Tabai, Breastplate of Valor, Pestilence, Spirit Robe, Mantle of Discord, and then I'll look for either more health, like a Wing Blade for more movement speed, because once you sell the boots, you can have that as well. And just whatever I need for the team. If I can afford to get a Brawlers and I need it, then sure. But it's not exactly the most useful on Hercules, I would say.
Right, obviously. I just like to troll.
So how do you like to play into a Herc? So you're facing one down. What do you like to do with the laning phase?
So, the reason why I really like Herc is because he impacts what a lane bully is. That's what Chalk used to be known as, but Chalk has been just not so good in the last season or so.
Poor Chuck.
So Hercules wants to displace you. He wants to make you out of position. He wants to hurt you. He wants to be all over. Yesterday, I was getting mad at myself because I was playing Hercules into King Arthur, and I should have soloed him to level 1 because people just don't respect we talked about the passive, that he has. But playing into a Hercules, you actually need to play a little bit closer to him so he can't pull you in, because that's a big misconception. People are like, oh, I gotta stay far away because he's gonna hit me with a 2. If you're closer, he can't knock you up. He can only driving strike. And a good Hercules will take advantage of that, but if you can learn his patterns and what he likes to do and just move out of the way, most of the time he'll telegraph that he wants to knock you up. I know I still have problems with that as a Hercules, because you'll be acting like you're hitting the wave, and the next thing you're trying to throw your target or to where they are, and it's just off. and then they start to get used to that. Hey, he's autoing X amount of times before he throws out the Earthshaker. I need to step to the side or backwards or forwards at this specific time. So from that, also, it depends on your character as well, because anti-heal is needed, because we talked about the mitigate wounds and how much you said you saw the 1600 heal the one time off of the tower and whatnot. The anti-heal you apply to Hercules, that is his biggest, I would say, Achilles heel, because while he can heal and while he can be this unstoppable character, you just play against him with a pestilence. You have your juggler build of problems. You have your midlaner build of divine ruin. Just as you would a normal healer. If every one of you hit one ability, plus you have the pestilence on him, that's 105% anti-heal for the time you're around him. Plus, when you're not around him with the pestilence, for the remaining 8 seconds, and it's greater than that on dot gods like, say, Kukulkan or Agni, who because the effect restarts once the next one hits. Once you're not in range with the pestilence, it's still 80% mitigation. So that 220 heal he was trying to get, he's only going to get about 40 of that. That insane, he just took 1600 damage. He's only going to get 300 of that back instead of the 70%.
Yep. Anti-heal is huge.
That's
Against pretty much anyone with
That's why they need a
really.
physical defense anti-heal item. That's what Solo Lane has taught me.
Yeah, pretty much. And then also, I would like to mention, if you're playing against a Hercules and you are, say, Bellona or another god that can proxy very well, I would absolutely start that as soon as you hit level 5. Because you can go proxy, you can bludgeon the wave, or whatever character you're using, and then you're safe because you have the ultimate, you can Eagles Rally out of there, you can guarantee your safety, you don't have to fight the Hercules, you force them to sit in lane while you rotate to steal the back camps, or rotate the mid for a Gold Fury, or to start a fight, and then they're lagging behind. So, and that's generically what you want to do in solo lane, period, is if you can do it, you want a proxy farm between the tier 1 tower and tier 2 tower, go steal back camps, come back and proxy again, go check speed buff. If it's not there, go to mid. If it's not there, if nothing's going on in mid, or anything on that side of the map, just go back and proxy again, and then that can allow you to get a free back as well. You just got a lot of gold. You just got 3 waves and a back camp, and sometimes a kill or a speed buff, so you can equate gold very easily like that.
Yeah, solo lane is kind of an interesting lane, because it's only as boring as you can make it, really. If you can win your lane and get to a point where you can outfarm your opponent in proxy, it becomes a pretty fun little place to be. Because you can pretty much just roam the map and do whatever you want. Because you're the solo laner, you're a couple levels ahead of most people.
Yeah, one thing that, in that Hercules game that I played, we were actually looking for me to pick the Rakatasker to do a similar thing that we're talking about now. We were going to we're going to quote unquote flex the Ratatasker, but actually give it to me and to give Hatsu something he wanted to play at the jungle. We left it open, we didn't ban it for that reason, but they actually picked it back even though he didn't have a great performance on the Ratatasker. So it screwed that over, and then we're like, okay, so what do you want now? I mean, this is up to you, this is what we're looking at. And it was a bad comp to pick Hercules into, because you don't want to pick it into Agni at all.
So I got a question for you, though.
Yeah.
What's your favorite skin?
Oh, that's a good question.
For Hercules or in general?
For her.
The baseball one for sure.
Oh,
Grand Slam,
those
huh?
guys.
Grand Slam.
Grand Slam!
So I got a weird one for this. I really like the Hercules voice pack.
Yes.
Okay? Just fucking love it. I've had, every time there's a Hercules in my game, they're always vocal, and I just think it's the best thing ever.
It is great, and sometimes there are things like, I really like the, whose default voice pack is it? I think it's Achilles' default voice pack. I really like Achilles' default. But then you have the other skins, and I like the skins, but I don't like the voice packs that well. So I'll turn it to where you can have the default voice pack on.
Yeah, that's cool. Me, I have my famous. I love the way Captain Quick Mercury says "enemy ultimate down." It's the best BGS in the game. He's so into it. He just screams it with all his heart. He loves it. He's like, yeah, I got it.
So
I got it down.
Is that like Ratatasker defend middle lane kind of deal?
He's like, hold on, right? He's like, hold on, right? Enemy ultimate down. That's exactly how he does it. And it's like, dude, yes. He's so proud. He's like, I got that fucking ult, baby, and I got it out good. Like, I did it. He's so proud, and I love it. And I used to play jungle all the time, especially when Merc was huge, so...
Mercury is actually one of the only two gods I have a pentakill on, so... he has
I have 8 pentakills. I can't even remember most
He
of
has
mine.
a special place in my heart. The first one, you guys know Matacount?
Yep.
Yes, of course.
I was on Matacount stream, and I was playing with him, just casually, and one time I got ADC, and I'm like, okay, and I just really wanted to play Uller. I don't know why, I just did. And
that's my man.
We had a Phoenix defense where I got a pentakill, and it was the second one I ever got. The first one I was playing with a friend on Mercury, and of course Mercury has the capability because of the critty builds and because of its movement speed, and it was just insane. Once it happened, I remember just screaming at the top of my lungs, and my wife's over here staring at me like, what the hell is wrong with you?
My last
when I get
pentakill, I didn't even know
pentakills,
it happened.
I love pentakills, and I have 8 on my main account, which is awesome to me. That's awesome. And I love the Inuki announcer pack. So whenever I end up getting one, oh man, I'm screaming right alongside him. I love it.
My favorite one still is, Mom, get the camera! I got the pentakill!
yeah, that's a good one. That is definitely a good one.
I
love how hype Inuki gets.
Anybody out there listening, if you ever get the opportunity to make a voice pack, make sure your pentakill calls are exciting, because some of these just...
Lady of Lore.
Speaking of that...
And in English, right, Dad?
Speaking of pentakill...
and in English, would be appreciated.
Speaking of pentakill call, Panda trolled me out of being able to do my first one ever. So, the first week, Girl Patrol was facing, I think it was Exilium Leagues. It was game 1, and if you've been early enough to see the pre, I call it the pre-intro, where I have like a 4-minute highlight video showing like clips and things like that, before we actually go live. So, the first one of that is Matt Mitchie is playing Kronos, and they're sieging the right side Phoenix. He gets the triple kill, and then Panda steals the Quadra with an auto attack, and Matt Mitchie finds the last kill. And I was like, oh wait, can he get the Quadra? Wow! And then stole it.
That's what happened to Guy, and his Phoenix defense is Poseidon. Got the first 3, Lucille comes out, takes the 4th, and there goes the 5th to Guy for the Quadra.
Yeah, we got one stolen out from under him too.
Yeah,
usually Beagle is the one doing that, but this time it was Lucille.
All right.
And it sucks because I was like, here comes the Quadra and the Pentakill! That kind of thing. I was just so ready for it. And then nope, Panda gotta troll me here.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to troll you with, it is time to let everybody to know how to get a hold of you, or, where to follow, the league and stuff like that. Feel free to, promote away here and, say your goodbyes.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that. First of all, just shout outs to you guys, because I've listened to a few podcasts before. I absolutely love what you guys do with this, and, it's amazing. You guys have had the likes of Camberlin on before, and the likes of like Jithens and other people as well. So it's amazing and an honor to be on the podcast like they were as well. But where you can find me, where you can find me is either on Twitter or at Twitch, or if you even want my Discord, I can give you that as well. At MajinBuusha, MajinBuusha. And that's how you find me, either on Twitch or Twitter, and then #4248 if you want to hit me up on Discord for any reason you would like.
There you go, folks. Hit them up. Join the Exilium League.
You can watch us attempt not to feed a little better each week.
That's right.
Well, I still think these guys have an opportunity to come together. I really do. There's a lot of talent on the team. There's a lot of knowledge on the team. And, but it's that ever, elusive, can we just come together? And one thing I've been just telling them is, look, you're going to give each other some help, When the other person helps you, just shut up. You don't have to
Yeah.
talk back. You don't have to try to explain what you're doing. Just thank you for your help. I will take it into consideration and do just that. Take the good that that is a good idea. Maybe I will try that. Or I think that's a bit idiotic. I'm not going to worry about that right now unless I would continue to struggle. And then maybe, look into something like that if it's a repetitive thing. But, just kind of chillax a little bit and have some fun with it. But I really think, come mid-season, people might be like, they're not quite the pushover that we thought they were.
We're not
And
the
that's
split
the-
pushovers.
and-
We're the split pushers.
Yeah, I'm with you, and that's the thing with the leagues, Exilium Leagues. I love them so much for this because the first split was only 5 weeks long because each league had there were 6 in the Premier, which was at that time it was Platinum and above, and then Classic was below Platinum and below. There were 6 teams in each, and we had a 5-week split. Well, this split we actually have about 10 teams per league, 8 in the Masters, 10 in the others. And there's actually it's actually 14-week splits, and we're just about to start week 3. And it's amazing to watch the progression of players, and I've said it a couple times before, but to know things. I was actually talking to Guy a little bit. I know he couldn't make it here today, and hopefully next time I'm here I can be with him. But I was actually talking to him about I'm a very detailed person, and I sent him one of the scripts. Not really a script, but I get the Google Sheets ready. If there's going to be like a doubleheader like there was this past Sunday, I've got the team names all together. I've got like the top picks and bands for the last week and a half, and the organization of who's going to be casting what and when, and just all those kind of things. But just an example, I was telling him, I appreciate the fact that when I watch GPS versus Bot G, I know there's going to be an Agni ban in the first phase or picked away first because Chamberlain and Nevaeh love those gods. Well, I love that god. So I love the fact that I know those things. I love the fact that excuse me, I had to cough there for a second. But I love the fact that when I watch Omega versus Black, I know that, well, the old roster at least, they're fighting over Athena, they're fighting over Terra, they're fighting over these gods that most supports really like. And just, I enjoy those kind of things about these leagues. I get to learn about not only the players, I get to do some player interviews, but also just watching teams and players progress and get better. And it's just so much fun for me to watch, whether I'm casting or playing or just watching as a viewer.
Yeah, it's a little.
All right. Well, Dan, how can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on the PlayStation Island sometimes at DirtXNapXDan. You can find me on the Crossplay Continental on DirtNapDan with no X's. And you can find us all on the official Split Push Twitter at Split Push Podcast with no A. Too long. Awkward.
Yuki?
Awkward.
Jesus. Oh, you can find me PlayStation 4 Ryukotse _ if I'm not watching Letterkenny anymore because migrating slowly to that PC. You can find me with a controller in my left hand and a mouse in my right hand on the PC version there at YukiGaming22 and on Twitter at YukiGaming22. Don't ask how I mouse and analog. It's working okay.
Hey, as long as he's doing it and it's working, don't care. I'm cool.
There was quite a few times I heard the announcers saying how awesome Yuki was playing. That may have been
there's
you,
been plenty
Martian.
of times where they said that, actually.
But anyway, last up here is good old Dirt Nap's dad. If I hop back on PlayStation, it's Dirt_Naps_dad. Same on Twitter there. But apparently, you can find me on PC now. But the name over there is a bit different. It's the devil inside of me. Literally, it's the word devil inside of the word me. So it looks like Dr. Evil with an E on the end.
No,
Because MDEVILE.
Just message one of us.
That is
Right.
actually genius, and I appreciate that so
But it
much.
is
You don't even
really
know.
Just
Yeah.
the
Honestly,
devil
for the longest
inside
time,
the
I
word
didn't
me.
know that about that name. And when he told me, I was like, what?
It was
That is
my
the
WoW.
sickest fucking thing I've ever seen or heard, ever.
Yeah, it was my WoW character's name, and everyone always thought it was Dr. Evil. I'm like, no, it's the devil inside of me. And it would blow people's minds like, oh my god. Like, didn't see that. Like, always thought you were Dr.
I'm just
Evil.
saying, this is where I come from, so be scared of when I figure out Smite.
Yeah. Look, I don't pretend to be anything of any fancy anymore. I had my days in the sun. I think I'm getting a little too old now, but I'm having fun. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how long I can stay in that Dan and Dicey club.
All right, well, everyone, let's give our best split push and get on out of here.
Well, hey, when it comes to dirt naps, you gotta give them before you take them, and then when all else fails.
You're right.
Then what do you do?
What else fails?
Split
push!
Push!